Success as a real estate agent. Welcome back. Welcome back. So we're gonna pick up where we left off at presenting to qualified prospects. A quality listing presentation involves considerable advanced planning, careful research and analysis, highly developed presentation and sales skills. These enable you to derive maximum impact from the minimal time you have to present yourself and your recommendations, close the deal, and obtain signatures on a listing agreement. So, your advanced planning takes two forms. First, you need to ask pre-listing questions of your prospects, determining not only their desires and expectations, but also their ability to make the buying or selling decision and complete the transaction. The previous portion of this chapter provides prospect qualifying advice. The other essential ingredient in a listing presentation is a competitive market analyst, or CMA. This section is a guide for preparing a presentation that displays the fellow complement of your sales skills and abilities and helps you win your prospects' confidence and secure their listing. Knowing the purpose of your presentation, be crystal clear on this point. The objective of a listing presentation is to secure a signed listing agreement before the meeting ends. If you've decided the two-step presentation is the right approach, then in that second step, you're securing the signature before you part company. You're not paving the way for a be-back listing where you plan to return at a later date to handle paperwork and secure final prospect approval. Your purpose is to make your case, close the deal, and get ink on the paper right then and there while you're face-to-face with your prospects. If you don't, the odds of securing the listing start to swing away from you. If you let even a few days or a few weeks slip by, your prospects will have a hard time separating your presentation from the presentation of other agents they meet in the meantime. And the moment they lose sight of your distinguishing attributes, they'll revert to a committee mindset, focusing on price and selecting an agent based on who offered the lowest commission or highest list price. I've personally made more than 1,000 listing presentations, and I've coached and listened to the presentations of hundreds of other agents. I'm totally convinced that a quality listing presentation can and must result in a signed contract at the presentation. These are two reasons you need to get the listing agreement signed during the presentation. The moment you leave the appointment, anything can happen. A buyer can appear out of nowhere, knocking on your prospect's door with a direct offer. An agent who interviewed your prospects a few days ago may be desperate enough to call with another offer to cut their fee by another %. At a club meeting, worship service, or Chamber of Commerce meeting, your prospects may meet another agent, or they may begin to confess you with a different agent whose presentation they didn't get at all. The list goes on and on. The only thing you know for sure is that when you don't get the signed listing agreement at the appointment, you leave it up for grabs. You need to field the win. The win in the listing game is when the contract is signed. Don't underestimate the power of the personal victory. Selling involves the risk of rejection. If it didn't, it would be called order taking, and you wouldn't be paid so well because it would be so easy. A listing presentation gives you the chance to go for the win. Perfect, you're close. And attain the victory. Give yourself the satisfaction and adrenaline rush of walking out of the home with a signed contract. Your drive home will be the shortest ever known. If you don't get the contract signed, however, it will be the longest few minutes you've ever known. I have an incredible coaching client named Rita, who is one of the top listing agents in her area on Long Island, New York. She's a listing machine in her market area. She takes more than 125 listings a year. Yet, a while back, when we tracked the number of contracts she was getting signed on the night of the appointment, we found that her close rate was less than 40%. This finding got her focused on the uncompensated time she was spending on second meetings with listing prospects. It also made her think about how many listings were lost following the first meeting. A month later, her closing figures had changed dramatically. With a new resolve to get the contract closed on the night of the appointment, she skyrocketed her closing rate to more than 70%. Delivering a compelling presentation. A quality presentation follows these 4 steps. You begin by building trust, move into demonstration of the benefits and advantages that you bring to the prospects, present your pricing recommendations and ritual, and move to close the deal by presenting a listing agreement and getting the prospects to sign on the proverbial dotted line. The appointment itself takes less than an hour. The presentation involves a good deal more time. The upcoming sections guide you through the presentations that go into each segment of the presentation. Getting off to a good start, paving the way for a good listing presentation involves only 3 steps, but you can't afford to skip a single one. Arrange to have all decision makers present. If one cannot attend because an emergency arises, reschedule for another time. If a decision maker is absent, you'll have to rely on the other party to relay your presentation, complete with paraphrasing, misinterpretations, abbreviated points, and omissions. Not a good option for you. Based on your pre-appointment interview, enter the meeting with a presentation that incorporates your prospect's needs, drives, and expectations. The next section in this chapter guides you through the steps to follow. Open the presentation by building trust with your prospects. Forget about finding common ground or seeking to establish rapport by talking about your common interest in fishing, hunting, water skiing, or horses. Prospects see right through this distinguished effort to establish a forzado friendship. They're looking for business associates. Get to the point. To build trust, summarize what the prospects have told you about their values, their goals for this move, the motivations behind the move, and what they have hoped to accomplish. Refer to your pre-listing questions and confirm the answers they shared with you. Confirm that you get their input right and communicate that what is important to them is also important to you. This introductory and trust building segment should take 10 to 15 minutes max at the beginning of your presentation. The success or failure of your presentation can usually be tracked back to this initial segment. If prospects don't feel that you understand or relate to their needs, wants, and desires, they'll tune you out after just the first few minutes, long before you get to the part where you tell them how great you and your company and how you get to their home sold. Setting yourself apart from the real estate agent pack. In this part of the presentation, you demonstrate the benefits and advantages prospects can count on when they're with you. Most agents make a big mistake by either omitting this segment or using it to present features of their business rather than benefits derived by clients. There's a big difference between the two. An example of a feature is an air conditioning in a home or an anti-lock brakes on a car. The benefits of an air conditioning include comfort, coolness, and ease of sleep at home. The benefits in anti-lock brakes are safety, protection, and faster stopping. Selling benefits, not features. The vast majority of salespeople, and especially real estate agents, sell features looking at the odds for agents or listings to presentations, and all you'll see and hear are features. I sold 150 homes last year. I've been in the business for 20 years. I work for the number one company in the marketplace. I'm a member of the $1 Million Club, and I put my clients first, and I'm honest and have integrity, and blah, 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 blah. In these feature dump presentation, prospects don't hear anything about what's in it for them, what advantages they reap as a result of the agent's attributes. As a result, they tune out a good deal of the presentation, and the rest sounds just like what they hear from their agents. No wonder clients tend to make decisions based on list price and commission. That note. Alrighty then. We're gonna take a little break from Success as a Real Estate Agent, but thank you so much for watching all the way through, and I'll see you guys later. Watch my other videos and subscribe or whatever. Okay, bye.